Hello Exiles, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at how to gear for Act 2 without having to use PoE to trade or any currency, honestly. We will use the currency that we pick up, of course, and we'll use the gear that we pick up. Now in the background I'm playing the first boss that you run into in Act 2. He glitches. As you can see, his hit points aren't really moving at all. Now, when you run into him and he glitches like that, you've got two options. You can log out right there at the checkpoint, log back in, try again. If you do that, he's just going to glitch. So you want to go to town, log out of the game completely, come back in, deal with any gear you might have picked up, and fight him again. And that's really the only way to do it. Now, I actually picked up a few pieces of gear, and I may have something, you never know. And I do. +1 to minion skill gems. Now that's important for the helmet because I don't have that on my current helmet. The way this build works, and I say this build like I'm following a specific build. I am, but I'm not really showing you the build. You can go out and find a lot of build guides out there on how to do minion guides or minion builds. Follow one of them. Doesn't really matter. Because at this point, it's so early in the game, you can do whatever. Now, the boss is fixed. We're going to kill him. But I mentioned the +1 to minion skill gems because that is your power with this build. With any minion build. It's different than Path of Exile 1 if you've played that. You're not a caster, so the minions can do all the work for you. And that's what we're going for. As far as the build and getting gear, we're just going to pick up whatever we can and look for upgrades. But the things we want to prioritize are +1 to minion skill gems, and then we want to prioritize spirit, and of course all of your resistances. We don't really care about spell power or spell crit. Casting speed is nice, and let's see here. Yeah, just looking at some of the gear, we're not going to need to purchase any gear other than from the NPC shop and what we pick up and use our currency to upgrade and craft on. Now, as I said, your priorities. Priority number 1 is plus minion skill gems. Priority number 2 is spirit. The +2 to minion skill gems. Oh, we got some spirit. But I don't think we can use that just yet. We lose too many resistances. But +1 to minion skill gems is going to give us more power. That's going to make our minions stronger. They're going to do more damage. They're going to have more hit points because they're higher level, right? Makes sense? Now, plus to spirit gives you more minions. So the more spirit you have, the more minions you can have out. But the higher level of skill gems, the stronger and tougher your minions will be. So we did hit a level up, so as always we check the NPC shops. Now I am actually going to gamble. I've gone to this NPC that sells random gear. I haven't been respecking or spending my gold on anything, so the gold that I have is the gold that I earned on this character. I do have a lot more gold than I can actually spend because I have gold from my main. But I'm going to grab a few of these scepters. Now, the hope is to get +2 to minion skill gems on a scepter. And you can get +1, maybe +2, I think, at this level on an amulet. And you can get +2 on the helmet, potentially. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I think +1 on the helmet is about the best you can do at this level on Act 2. But once you get the +1, +1, +1, you know, that's +3, the weapon, the amulet, and the helmet, then you're in pretty good shape and you just need to worry about your spirit. That's not always an option. As you saw, I just picked up a helmet, so I had to look at spirit as a possibility because I didn't have the option of the helmet. But didn't give in. We stay, we just pick up the gear on the ground, buy some random gear, disenchant it or sell it, and then we go attack the bosses. Now I am going to show you all the bosses. I'm level 21 here, and I believe that's about the appropriate level for this boss, and the next one as well. Level 21 is. Now actually I think the next boss I may be a little bit over level when we see it. But just a quick tip on this boss. This boss is annoying. But all I'm doing is running away from it. Except for, see that gold circle? See how I ran through the middle of it twice? Well, what I'm trying to do is he throws a coin out. And if you run over the coin, he'll come attack you and try to hit you as soon as you do. But if you don't run over the coin, in a little while, he'll summon a minion that'll help him. And he can summon quite a few of them. It gets pretty annoying pretty quickly, and it gets kind of hard to deal with. The other thing he does, the other mechanic that he has, is he'll disappear. And when he disappears, you have to find him. If you don't find him in time, that center circle is going to put out a poisonous gas. It's going to do damage over time to you. And it builds up pretty quickly. So your main job is to let the minions do the work while you run in circles to prevent him from disappearing. And you run in circles looking for him to throw down a coin. Oh, and when you find him, he'll do an instant AoE attack. Just like when you run over the coin. You run over the coin, he'll jump to you and do an AoE. You find him, he'll do an AoE. You have a split second there to dodge out of the way, so you should be able to avoid it for the most part. And just like that, we've got our first, well actually our second boss of Act 2 defeated. No deaths. Easy. Not a particularly fancy build. I'm just going straight for minion damage is all I'm doing. And the second boss, we're still level 21. We were 21 at that last one. We're level 21 here. Now, this one I actually made a mistake on the boss. I didn't die. But I had to beat him more than once. The only thing bad about this boss, as far as mechanics, he does the little spin here where he's shooting fire. That's not a big deal. He throws out grenades. That's not a big deal. But he will put a bunch of grenades on the end of his weapon and come to you swinging his weapon with grenades that do a lot of damage. That's the only thing that's really problematic. But with the minions, they pretty well keep him at bay for you. I've not had a lot of trouble with him actually hitting me. Plus, yes, this is sped up, but if you look, it's doing a lot of damage pretty quickly. He's already down. Now, that NPC, that's the reason why I had to do this boss twice. First time through, I didn't talk to the NPC. I just went to town, oblivious to the fact that I had to turn that in. So I kept going. I kept going on to the next act, did the other boss, and came back to this one. Now, some of this gear that I have here. Obviously, I've got a lot of gear because I've got mains and I've got other alts. I'm just bringing this one up to show you that you can go through the entire game without purchasing any gear other than what you purchase from the NPC shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some amulets. I actually have a couple pieces. I've got a helmet and a couple other pieces that I actually picked up while I was out running around. But let's see here. Just want to get rid of some things. But what I'm going to do is I'm identifying these and looking at these pieces of gear and trying to upgrade them while I'm at the NPC shop, so I can sell them to the NPC shop if I don't need them, because this is old gear that I neglected. Most of it is old gear. Most of the amulets and the rings, they're all old gear that I neglected to upgrade going through the first time or the second time. Now some of these, like this, I just picked that up. But you're going to see some heartbreak, because the process of upgrading these or crafting on these with my currency, the amulets are all low level. They're all level enough to where I can use them. But as I go through and I update them, there is a chance that you can upgrade one and it'll give it enough stats. It'll be enough of an upgrade to where it jumps up the level requirement. Or it'll jump up a certain requirement. With amulets, it's going to be the level requirement. And you'll see I actually do that a couple times here. The most painful one is the amulet. I get over 40 spirit on this amulet, but it jumps up to over level 30, which I'm not over level 30 yet. And honestly, even if I were, it wouldn't matter, because I'm not going to use any of this gear. No matter how good it turns out, I'm not going to use it, because this is gear that came, well actually, These larger pieces here, the weapon, the helmet, the leg wrap, or the boots, I picked those up. I might use those if they were a good upgrade for me. But the amulets, I just picked those up from my inventory just to show you that you can upgrade one of them in the process of trying to craft on the gear, and it'll jump up to higher level and you'll never get to use it, or you won't be able to use it for a few levels. But I'm just going to mostly sell some of this. But here we are in our 30s with our final set of gear for the last boss of the act, ready to knock down Act 2 and go into Act 3. Now at this point I think I've had a total of about 6 deaths since Act 1, since starting the character. Let's see here. Well, no real upgrades here, nothing I can really use. Now, really quickly, just a couple key things about this fight, other than the cinematic at the beginning taking quite a while. Act 1's boss didn't have much of a cinematic at the beginning, but boy oh boy did it have a long cinematic after you killed him. This guy's got it on both sides of the coin. Now, he's got a few mechanics. He does a lightning thing where he does lightning around him in a circle. The windstorm where you have to stay inside the bubble. The bubble can appear in one of 4 corners. I got lucky with it and it spawned right there by me. Now he usually has 2 pylons that appear and have lightning going between them, and they kind of do a walk. There they are. They kind of do a walk across the screen and they'll get you. And he usually does that windstorm more than once, but the minions kill him so fast, beat him down so fast, that he was at 50% hit points before he could do it a second time. So we went into the next phase of the fight. And even this phase of the fight, the highest phase is he has 2 portals that appear that shoot daggers, flaming daggers at you. I believe he only gets 1 portal on me here, and the other one doesn't spawn in time. But there it is. And I don't think we get another because they kill him too quick, and then everyone's favorite part of him getting his head cut off. But that's really it for this video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thanks for hanging out, and have a great day.